Well, good morning and welcome to our pilgrimage together through this summer. As I mentioned yesterday, as we introduced almost a new rhythm for us during the summer, throughout the summer I'll include meditations on the blog that will almost include you in the rhythm of life here at the Institute for Priestly Formation. So many of you before I left asked about what IPF is and what happens, and a few of you even mentioned, hey, I wish I could go myself. And so during the summer, we'll take a pilgrimage together where I will include you in a few of the dynamics that are happening here at the Institute that day. And then I'll ask the question, if you were here at IPF. Today is day 2 of our life here at IPF, as well as Tuesday of the 6th week of Easter. And today, the seminarians are in class all day long. So you might say that today is their first full day of class after yesterday's orientation. And of course, the first course of the summer is on prayer. It's a great place for us to start. It introduces the men to just the basic dynamics of prayer. So many of the guys, as they walk into the summer, have their own experience of prayer, their own theological formation of prayer, as well as their own definition of prayer. And so that there's a real harmony amongst us all during the summer, and so that the men are really equipped for success during the 8-day retreat. The first course of the summer is designed around teaching the men how to pray. And today in class, we will talk about, you might say, the geography of the soul, learning more about the heart and how to pray with the things of the heart. And so if you were at IPF today, you would be introduced to the 3 levels of the heart. And what are those? Well, first of all, there's a great clip on the blog today from Father Scott Trainer, who's probably one of our better teachers. He's a phenomenal man. He is a man who prays himself and has a great grasp and articulation on the 3 levels of the heart. So I would point you back to the blog and those 2 great videos that are there. But essentially, the 3 levels of the heart is simply a tool for us to distinguish and articulate the varied movements of the heart that happen during prayer and at every area of life. The first level is the more superficial level. Those are thoughts, feelings, and desires that we might experience that come and go. They're influenced by the weather, our external circumstances, or by our memories. So, for example, it's beautiful today here in Omaha, so I like the weather. That affection for the weather, it's determined by the weather. It registers within me, may remind me of other days here in Omaha where I've enjoyed the weather. So the thoughts, feelings, and desires at that level, they come and go. My desire to go play golf today, maybe, or my wishing I was home and missing the fact that the weather is good for fishing there. Those thoughts, feelings, and desires, they come and go. First level of the heart. The second level of the heart, very much influenced by our history. You might say more psychological in nature, or quote unquote the human level. I know that language might be best understood for those of us in the pew. And so like the thoughts and feelings and desires that I had about my family, the way that I look at family life now, very much influenced by my history. The way that I handled my experience of disappointment or grief, or death and dying, our sexual desires and the way that we have appropriated our sexuality, all at the second level of the heart. The culture that we grew up in, and the way that it viewed touch or church or passion or happiness or joy, all those things at the second level of the heart. What's at the second level of the heart? Our thoughts, feelings, and desires around just life and humanity and things like that. I'll give you an example. If a person is grieving the loss of someone that they love, that's at the second level of the heart. If someone is excited about the birth of a new son, that's the second level of the heart. If someone looks with great regret upon their previous marriage or their early childhood, that's at the second level of the heart. The third level of the heart, those are the thoughts, feelings, and desires that directly impact my relationship with God or my capacity to do His will. So feeling guilty before God because of sin, or feeling consoled by God because of His presence in our life. A real contrition in our hearts, or feeling separated from God. All those are at the third level of the heart. And so that's what we're going to present to the men today. And if you were at IPF, you would hear that. And so I think, and essentially what we would do today is we would encourage you to be aware. I think so many of us live busy lives. So many of us are so caught up in the world that we can miss things. We can actually miss people. For example, let's say a husband comes home from work and his wife is either been at home all day or just got home or whatever the circumstances are, and she had a bad day, and he's so preoccupied with himself that he misses her. He doesn't connect. He doesn't see that she's upset. Or that same husband comes home and he's not even aware, he doesn't notice that his children are in a bad mood, or that his children are struggling. Sometimes we can just miss the things that are in front of us. Let's say it's a wife, and she's also a mom, and she is so caught up in her own world that she fails to notice her husband's distance, or she fails to notice her kid's struggle. We can just miss the things that are right in front of us. And we know that it's just because we're so busy. The same thing is true in the spiritual life. We can be so busy with the things of the world, or just trying to catch up with life, that we can miss the subtle nuances of our spiritual life. So the invitation for us is just to become more aware, to be more attentive to the things in our interior life, which would require a couple practical things. Number one, a little bit more quiet. For us to maybe fast this summer from the things that might preoccupy us. Maybe to fast from music in the car, or to maybe fast from 30 minutes of television, or to maybe fast from a period of time in front of the computer. But for us to make more time in our life for silence by fasting from the things that would ordinarily take up that time. Secondly, as we are in silence more, just to pay attention more to our thoughts, to pay attention more to our feelings, especially if we do dispose ourselves to prayer, or even if it's just in silence and daily reflection, just to become more aware of what's happening in our heart. Throughout the summer, that awareness will be helpful, and I'll offer some you might say some spiritual coaching throughout the summer that might help us. But it all starts with us growing in our awareness. So enjoy the pilgrimage this summer. I hope that you enjoy the journey through the Institute for Priestly Formation. And as we become more aware of what happens in our interior life, may God bless you.